Hello to everyone. My name is Angelos Amditis. I'm a research director at the Institute of Communication and Computer Systems. And I would like today to present to you Elviten, one of the European projects under the Green Vehicle topic on demonstration for integration of electrified L-category vehicles in the urban transport system. Allow me by thank you the European Commission and our good colleagues from EGVA and AirTrack for organizing this whole event and for inviting me. So just to give you some first information about the project itself, here you see some of its basic data. The project started for 3 years. It was just ended this month, and it was implemented by 21 partners and coordinated by ICCS. In green, you see the countries represented in the consortium, and in red, the cities where the long demonstrations have taken place. You can also see the project social accounts and websites, so you can get more information if you want. So speaking about the objectives of the project, the idea behind the project was to demonstrate in 6 European cities, namely Trikala, Berlin, Bari, Rome, Genoa, and Malaga, all types of light electric vehicles, aiming to make citizens more aware about such vehicles. The vehicles were offered for long or short-term sharing to citizens and visitors in all the towns I mentioned. To support the users of the vehicles, Elviten organized parking and charging services, both for the vehicles and also for all the other equipment used. Elviten also deployed support ICT tools, like an application to book vehicles and charging spots, but also ICT tools to motivate users, like a digital coach application, providing advice about eco-friendly driving, a serious game application, and a smart car collecting award points according to eco-friendly behavior that could be exchanged with awards. The objective was to create a big data bank of trips and perceptions data, to analyze them and generate guidelines at the end for vehicle manufacturers and planning authorities for the better integration of such vehicles in the transport and mobility networks. In this slide, you can see all the different vehicles that have been demonstrated. In total, we're speaking about 225 vehicles offered via the Elviten sharing services in the cities I mentioned from April 2019 to June 2020, so a long period of time in each city. The tricycles have been used also for light deliverables. Each vehicle, and I would say for the first time, was equipped with a black box sending dynamic trip data to the Elviten data repository. All types of light electrical vehicles that I saw here in this slide have been demonstrated in all cities. So here you can see some photos from the Elviten demonstrations, the vehicles and some parking and charging spots that have been implemented in the different cities that we have done our tests. So not only the vehicle, but also all the infrastructure that have been created in order to support Elviten demonstration and pilots. In this slide, you can see a glance of the architecture of the supportive platforms for gathering the data and for the ICT tools that we have used in the project. The data from the vehicle black boxes I mentioned before, data from the applications and from the ICT tools, and the questionnaires' responses have been transferred and stored in the Elviten data repository, the data warehouse, and they have been used for the project analysis and for the results I will show you to you soon enough. You can see here an idea of the size of the data bank that was created that contains right now data from more than 41,000 trips and responses to more than 8,800 questionnaires about people perceptions and attitudes towards light electrical vehicles. All the data that we have been gathering are open. They have been created under the principles of open data and fair data. Some highlights of our findings. First of all, in terms of driving patterns, the analysis that we have done showed that all types of the light electrical vehicles performed very well in all 6 cities, which were different in all aspects, I would say, in terms of size, of traffic, of topology, and of climate also. For example, we had cities, hilly cities like Genova, or flat cities like Malaga, and we have seen same level of performance everywhere, which is also very important. Indeed, the mean speed of the trips, the distance, and the number of trips per day were high, compared also to typical data from other means of transport in the same cities. We also found out that the daily traveling needs can be covered without need of recharging, at least during the whole day of operation, another important aspect for the users and the friendliness of this type of vehicles. So in general, light electrical vehicles are a very good alternative for urban transport, while being at the same time a clean means of transport. But at the same time, we understood that they can very easily and in a very good way integrate it to the whole transport system of every city. A few words about acceptance here, some of the findings that we had. I remind you that this is one of the core objectives of Elviten, so to make people more aware about such vehicles. And here you can see a good example of that, of people perceptions at the beginning of the project and also after the demonstrations, where we can see a huge change in attitude and in understanding of the importance of the value of this type of transport means. Before the Elviten demonstrations, majority of responders said that they would not consider using a light electrical vehicle. That was quite impressive also as a finding. But after the demonstrations, the majority of responders said that they would use them frequently, even 4 days per week, or in some other cases, at least 1 day per week. So the highest, of course, percentage goes for the 4 days per week, which shows good understanding and acceptance of such vehicles. One of the main objectives, or the main objective of the project, was also to create a number of guidelines for all different stakeholders involved in electromobility, starting with the guidelines for vehicle manufacturers. Here you can see some of them according to what we have found from the project. For example, users would like some sort of protection against the weather influence, and definitely protection against theft and vandalism. Also, we have seen that an open backend for easy fleet management was required by fleet operators and also by the cities themselves. Another example of guidelines are related to the planning authorities, and here you can see some of the findings we have towards this type of authorities in order to support the vehicles integration in the mobility planning. Policy measures are needed, for example, like measures to reduce private vehicle circulations, to permit access if for light electrical vehicles to restricted areas, but also incentives for their purchase. It is important to create a local ecosystem in its transport system, in its city, consisting of private and public shareholders, and also to engage citizens, taking steps to create awareness and generate public interest towards this type of vehicles and the greening of the mobility system in general, I would say. Finally, the integration of the vehicles and of the services is quite crucial. Cities should promote the inter-territorium of technologies the integration of technologies and services, and the multimodality of the mobility system. And in general, I would say the mass approach to their whole mobility network. Thank you very, very much for listening, and I'm open to your questions and any queries you may have. Thank you very much. Thank you.